everyone, this is Dawn, and this is the third week of our retreat, or the third session if you're doing them in a different time frame. And so I was thinking a few minutes ago about how this retreat, these weeks of the retreat, are sort of like maybe building a house. So the first week we spent time surveying our plot of land. So we looked at the story of our life, the photo book of our life, and so we remembered those things. Then we narrowed in on a place to maybe decide to build our house. And so last week we thought about where do I recognize God's presence in my story? And having looked at the photos, where do I see God and how did I experience God? And then this week, this is sort of like we're going to build the foundation for this retreat. There's a few different tenets that will be used throughout the rest of the retreat. And so this week we're talking about maybe perspective might be a way to think about it. The ability to see God in all things, or the practice, I should say, to see God in all things. And so again, I've made a handout, and so you don't have to print it. You can just reference it when you need it, if you need it. And so in this handout, there's a quote from St. Ignatius of Loyola, it's his teaching and thought and work that is the basis for these weeks of retreat that we're doing. So the quote says, God created us to praise, reverence, and serve God, and in this way to save our souls. God created all of the rest of creation to help us achieve the purpose for which God created us. And so that's the perspective we're using this week. On here I included some things to play in the background of our lives, like we've been doing each of these weeks. It just as you brush your teeth, as you drive to work, or doing whatever, that you reflect on these things, and so that it becomes part of your life instead of just something we do at a certain time, but it becomes part of your reflection each day. And so the things to let sort of walk around in the back of your mind as you go through your week is to become more conscious of why you were created, you yourself. And the reason, as we see in Scripture, but also in St. Ignatius' quote, to give praise to God, to revere God, and to be in service of God. So those three things, pay attention this week of as you reflect on things and why were you created? How do those three things play out in your own life? And then also at the same time to notice. That's a key word, notice. Sometimes things come at us so fast, and so to take time to be intentional, I guess, and notice things, to notice the rest of creation more consciously, and how all that you notice is intended by God to help you. I was thinking about this just the other day about zinnias, the flower. So I've seen zinnias many times. I really haven't paid much attention to them, but at All Saints, as I wait for people to come into Mass to check them off right now that are on our list, there's beautiful flowers at the entrance of All Saints, and some of them are zinnias. And I was marveling the other day at how zinnias grow. Like, they start out as a simple flower with one ring of petals, but then as they grow, they add more and more petals, and they're not the most showiest flower. Like, I guess they don't have the acclaim of a rose, I guess, but they're a marvel. And it struck me about how that flower starts out so simple, but it starts out as a seed, but all of that is captured in that little seed. It has the capacity to grow. And so I started reflecting on that in my own life, and that I often sell myself short, but I have the capacity in me. God has given me gifts to use to grow and to do things. And so that is just one very simple thing. Hopefully you'll have a chance this week to notice creation around you. At the end of this handout, there's a prayer sort of to guide you to to just to help. If that prayer doesn't work, obviously come up with one of your own, just in everyday language, as if you were having a conversation with a friend, because God is your friend. And so this week, may you find grace and peace in working through these questions. Have a good day.